I have a thesis, Lori, that I'd like to run by you that we've not talked about in any detail.
We
But it'll
haven't.
be fun. It'll be Socratic in nature. And won't that be fun?
Yeah.
Questions and
Awesome.
answers.
Okay.
So I'm doing something
Are you
yesterday.
interviewing me?
Well, it could be, right? but I also reserve the right to impart my own wisdom upon you
All
as
right.
well. So it's not just questions
Then
and
more's
answers.
not better.
Right. As little as it could be, right? I'm doing something yesterday, and who knows why these things come to you. This one was, if some is good, more is better. And I started through my mind, I think I was cleaning or something, as I often do. When you ring the bell and say, hey, get up here and clean this up. So I run up and clean it. No, I'm kidding.
When did I do that?
I'm kidding. Some is good, more is better, at least in the way I was thinking yesterday, and I'm kind of stuck to it, is never true. Like there's not one thing that's true that could be applied truly to that statement. If some is good,
better?
more is better. So what
Ice cream
Example.
comes to mind.
well, yeah,
Popcorn.
But is it? But it's not better.
It really isn't. No.
Even
Well,
someone
maybe
would
a little
say,
bit more.
someone would say, money. We know that more money's not better, right? We've seen, what movie was it we watched? I think it was I Am, that had these compelling
right.
statistics around some money to get us to our
like
food and
$70,000 a
shelter
year
and
was-
enough to live on, but more created all kinds of like statistically supported
It doesn't create more happiness.
horrible things. Well, yeah, I mean better, right?
Right.
Better, I think would be
But, like,
something that creates
when
happiness.
$75,000 a year creates the level of happiness, and then it doesn't get, if you make 150,000, it doesn't make you twice as happy.
Right. That's exactly right. Is there anything that you can think of, like truly, that is better with more, like unlimited more, unlimited better?
No,
If some is good,
some is good.
it's the whole,
More is better.
like a stupid example is the whole supersize me thing, like a super huge gulp, that's it's really, it's really good. This death soda or whatever. So let's have a gallon
Let's
of
have
it for
another
30
one.
cents. And isn't that, won't that be better?
Yeah.
Certainly not the case with any kind of food,
Right. Exactly.
period.
Except ice cream
Maybe some,
and popcorn.
maybe some super antioxidant, super duper health food, more salad is better. And
I
always,
don't
that
think
always is
so.
the case, but it's not the case.
Right.
Money, sex, more sex is great, but is there always a correlate? If you have too much of anything, it becomes too common,
Yeah,
right? You
right.
become,
It's not
that's
special.
really the thesis, isn't it? Is you
Right.
become saturated with anything that
Right.
is too much of,
Right.
which is, the Buddha said, everything in moderation, including moderation,
Yes.
which means once in a while you break out of moderation and indulge with your gallon of ice
That's
cream or
right.
whatever it is.
And
right?
that big giant bowl of popcorn.
Big, not just a big bowl of popcorn, but a big giant bowl of popcorn.
It's a big giant
which is even bigger.
bowl of popcorn. And the little more is better is you give me the last of yours too,
Yeah, I
because
always
you
do.
never finish yours.
And just while we're on that, every single day is more frequent than every day. I've come to learn these little common things. Great big huge is bigger than just great big.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And tiny little is
Right?
smaller.
A little tiny. Yeah.
Little tiny.
So some is good, more is better. I thought maybe we'd come into something where you'd be like, oh, I got it. It's this. Some sleep is good. Too much sleep is no good.
Yeah. I would say, even you can hit a saturation point with
Anything.
fun. You
Yeah.
could hit a saturation point with, I guess, no, I can't think of anything.
Maybe anyone that would choose to comment in would have some example if some is good, more is better. Here's the thing, with someone who may be retired or someone who could do anything they want with their time, right? There's always that. If I could just do whatever I wanted all day, I would do this.
Right.
Well, no, you wouldn't.
No,
I don't think you
I
would.
think we're living proof of that.
That's right. If
Right.
I'm
We can't even think of what we want to
having like a
do.
moment of truth here. Like, I love to ride the quads, and we haven't ridden the quads since January.
I know.
What is this now? September.
Yeah.
Not one time. And I think what why? I can't, why haven't we? But if we ride the quads every day, you'd be sick of it.
Right.
There was a time when we were in Michigan and we rode, I don't know, a lot.
I didn't get sick of it.
While we were trying to get the club built. I didn't, yeah, I loved it. It was
I
super
didn't
fun.
get sick of that.
Maybe
But
that's
it
the one
wasn't too
thing.
much.
Right.
Really, it was 4, maybe 6 hours on a pop.
Yeah.
When it started to get cold, it was too much.
Yep.
I didn't like riding in the cold.
Maybe that has something to do with want to versus have to as well. Like if your job was to be one of those cops that is on the quad and catches people, you might get sick of riding the quad. Like I got to ride this thing every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It was just something that I thought that I wanted to bring up and see if we could run that to
Well,
ground.
even like playtime, right? Even playtime can be too much.
Right.
Like I think that everything needs to be in moderation,
Yep.
including moderation,
Yeah.
so that you can, if you stay, like say you're, really good about working out and eating right and doing your little routine, and every day is perfection, and then you look forward to like not doing that,
Mm-hmm.
not to get out of the rhythm,
Yeah.
but just to break up the rhythm,
Yep.
like an interrupt.
Well,
And then you can appreciate being back in the rhythm
Yeah.
again.
Perfect example is when we were in Michigan at our nutrition club, we would have we had a schedule, right? We
Mhm.
had a schedule, and it was self-created, so it
Right.
made it okay. Like it wasn't you really have to, but we had to go
Yeah.
because we committed to it, and we had people
Yeah.
coming, and it was early in the morning.
Meditation.
And then there'd be yoga some days a week. And it was like yoga 4 or 5 days a week, meditation, I don't know, 3 days a week, something like that, 2
Yeah.
days a week. Anyway, it was a schedule. And then we would go on a little mini vacation or whatever to some thing.
Yep.
And the cool part was it was nice to get away from that for a bit, but always by the time it was time to come back, you actually looked forward to the schedule again,
Right.
which to me is the perfect
Nice balance.
yeah, the perfect demonstration of something that works in your life, right?
Right.
Because you're looking forward to
You're
getting
looking
back
forward to doing it.
to that.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing is to create your life in a way. I think one of our topics was like vacation living. If you could create your life in a way that was kind of like a vacation,
Mhm.
all want to.
Yeah.
And even in the want to, there's some rigor. There's
Right.
some routine. It's not just play all the time. It's just your day is literally created of things that
Right.
you value.
Yeah.
Right? So eating healthy, exercise, those are some of our core values. So even though there's rigor in it, we make time to do it every day.
Yeah. There are, who's kidding who? There are days
That
lots
we
of
do
them.
nothing.
Well, lots of them. Where I was going with that was that I would, I'm not super jacked about going to the gym. There's just days like that.
I'm like that a
I
lot.
just don't have that fire. But it's.
I think if I don't know. I feel like I'm not getting results. If I had more results, I would be.
Well, the consistency is the key, right? It's like my buddy Brad and I would always say when we used to work together, we're taking our portions. Like, what are you doing? How
I'm
you doing?
taking my portions.
Taking my portions. It's just like you're putting your, like with meditation, your job is not to fly away to Neverland or have some magical experience. Your job is to put your butt in the seat and take your breaths for whatever amount of time we're there, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the job. And the job is to take your portions, go to the gym, do your reps. Some days it's just that. It's just going, some days the walk is just freaking getting there, turning and getting back and then being done, right? Sometimes it doesn't work. And you have experience with that from way back, around the Daily Magic, right? The Daily Magic, an hour and 10-minute program.
Right, yeah.
Some days, hour and 10 minutes, but you get back and it would be like, F this.
It took
like
me,
it never turned.
well, some days it
Some
took
days
me
you'd turn.
45 minutes to get into
Right.
the positivity, because I'd be like aggravated that day. So it would take me that much time to like settle my mind down
Yeah.
and not be in a rant the whole walk.
Yeah.
But that was really, I mean, by the end of the walk, I was always feeling better.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I think it was
How
just
could you not? Right.
really, I even think of those mantras from the walk when we do our walk now.
Yeah.
Because anytime I'm walking, it's anchored in to think those
Yeah.
things,
Yeah.
you know.
There's just something that I'm thinking of. It's like, I can't remember if it's like physics or some science or it's some religious spiritual saying, but it's like the thing creates its opposite. The thing in an extreme brings in its opposite, right? So I'm thinking about positivity. As you're talking, I'm thinking, well, there's one. More is good. Some is good, more is better. Until you remember those people that you've met that are just always positive all the time, or you're always positive all the time, and sometimes you just want to put your head under the pillow and say,
And not be
this
positive.
sucks, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you just do.
I think,
No one can be positive all the time about everything.
Right,
You're gonna have moments when you're like,
you got to flip out.
well,
I
I don't
think it's
believe flip
important.
out, but
Yeah,
just
I think it's important, though. I think people that you encounter that have a great attitude all the time are just refreshing,
yeah,
especially in today's climate.
and they exist. I would submit though.
They have
like,
bad
Like
days.
there's some people that we know
Yeah.
in our family who we love that you just want to see get mad just for fun, like as a way of, as a comedy thing. Not like, I don't believe that you're that nice of a person. I do
Yeah.
believe that she's that nice of a person, but you just want to see her get all full of profanity and fuck it, like throw something. I just think that'd be funny. But
Yeah.
point taken. That's a good point.
Right. I think that a good attitude, you can never have too much of. I think attitude is great. Good attitude.
Well, that's the whole thing about it's not what happens to you, it's your response to what happens to you, right? I think that's more of a method of a way of being, right? It's just a way of dealing
Right.
with life. I choose this, like I choose. So it's a
Right.
little bit off. It's a little bit off topic.
Yeah, because it's not like a quantity thing,
right.
but it's definitely something that. What are you laughing at?
Like at the end of the remake of the National Lampoon's Vacation movie, where the guy the whole time is like, "Oh no, it's not that bad. Oh, it's not that bad." Remember the vacation movie where the car blows up and he pushes the button in the fob and the car explodes, and he finally is like, "That's it. I've had it." It was funny.
Yes.
Anyway,
Right. But I think that that is a good topic anyway, is responding, being in control of your response. Like, people are so eager to give over their power, right? Just give up their power to something else when things don't go their way, rather than, like, I was going to do that today at the gym because my internet was not working at all.
that's when you tossed
I
flipped
threw
your
my
little
phone on
out.
the floor. I was like, I can't get it to. I shut it off. I turned it back on. I couldn't get it to not like be just looking for the
Buffering.
internet all the time, right? And I turned off the internet connection. I had it go to cell. Nothing worked. So I started listening to Audible, which actually I had a downloaded book on my thing, so we're ready to play. So it was like, I thought of that when I was in the middle of it. I was like, I can have a tantrum about and make my workout be horrible if I want to be mad at my phone, this inanimate object, and I'm going to throw it on the floor. Or I can be resourceful and say, well, maybe this is just, I'm not going to listen to this right now. I'm going to listen to a book that I've been listening to. And continue listening to the book. It doesn't really matter what you're listening to, as long as you're listening to something while you're working out. I think I like listening to something while I'm working out. I don't like just working out.
Well, I would say, in my opinion, it does matter what you're listening to. I mean, you're not listening to Grand Theft Auto or some, like horrible mind garbage.
No, I think that. Well, I mean, I don't listen to that stuff anyway, so
Right.
it matters. It matters that you're listening to something that you want to listen to.
Right.
But it doesn't matter what genre of it is. Like, it doesn't matter if it's on YouTube or whether it's an Audible or somewhere. I mean, I like listening to books when I'm working out. It's just a pattern that I have. And I seem to absorb information better when I'm exercising.
There's some physiology to that, right?
Right. So, but the choice to work with my phone rather than be mad about it
Mm-hmm.
is then again an option. It's not giving my power away to an inanimate object
Right.
and saying now my whole workout's shot and then I can't do this and
Oh,
I'm in
my
a
whole
bad
day's
mood. My
ruined.
day is ruined and I'm going to be in a nasty mood. Like those types of things before I started doing any kind of work on myself, like I was not even aware of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I started to be working, building my own business and starting to work into personal development so that you could, thrive, I didn't realize that who you're being in it and that you had choice around things. So I was a lot of times in victim mentality, which is I can relate to people out there in the world. But now that I know that there's a choice, you can say to people, there is choice. You just got to explore that there's choice and accept responsibility for choosing.
Right.
Not choosing is still a choice too,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
So, there's responsibility in control. When people want to be in control or want certainty. Certainty is really what people are looking for. I wanna feel like I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Certainty.
Even if it sucks.
Yeah.
Certainty
Yeah.
is preferable to uncertainty.
Yeah, I took a course called Strategic Coach one time, and certainty was his big thing. People can operate with a level of proficiency when they have certainty.
Mm-hmm.
So the goal was creating as much certainty as possible in your life. How do you create certainty in your life? There's some things that we're certain about, and then there's some things that we're not certain about. How do you pull those over and create certainty when you're not certain?
Right.
It's possible to do that. So, those are good skills to have.
Giving your power away.
Don't give your power away.
Common thing.
Right. So that would be if some is good, more is better. Like power, don't give your power away.
Right. So how does it fit into that thesis?
Some power is good. More power is definitely not better because people abuse power all over the place, right? So we
That's
don't even
for
want to
sure.
go down that bunny hole.
That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, I can't think of one thing that is an exception to that. I guess it would be the opposite to that rule. If someone's good, more is better. There's nothing that fits that.
No, other than a good attitude.
Other than a good attitude. Rain, I can't think of one thing. Snow is fun. Some snow's good. Too much snow is
Sunshine,
death.
wind.
Electricity. Some electricity's good. Helps you turn on lights.
Yeah.
And too much of it. Put
Could
your lights
be,
out.
Yeah, that's for sure. Right? What would there be?
Yeah. So
Children? Some children are good, more are better.
why did we have all these kids?
I've got 12 now.
There is
Certainly a cutoff
out of that.
where there's the right amount.
Yeah, money, toys. People you hear have lots of toys. I've been in that mode, and we have lots of toys now. I think we have the right amount of toys where we're happy. We could if we wanted to. That's the beautiful thing where we're at in our heads anyway.
Yeah.
Is no desire. That's saying a lot, at least for me, because I love motorized stuff, and it's just so fun.
Yeah.
But I don't want for anything.
Yeah. I think it's good to to be able to have what you want but not be indulgent. Like some people have 12 cars and 45 bikes and why?
Yeah.
It's like to me it seems like there's a void that can't be filled.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? It's never going to be filled with that
That kind of stuff.
that type of, because it's the excitement or the pursuit of it or the acquiring of it that is really the thrill.
Yeah.
And then once you have it, it's not so exciting anymore.
Well, Jerry from Rhythmia, remember we talk about that? It would be super fun, and he would buy us next Ferrari.
Right,
and
right.
Like the next week, he was like whatever, looking for the next thing.
But now look how happy he is.
Yep.
Right? And all he's doing is doing for others. I think that is That's something that can be being a contribution. You know, some is good, more is better. Being of contribution. I think that what's going on, you know, the idea of that garden over in Eden there with Vero
Yep.
is like a really nice thing. Like the fact that it can create such abundance that you
Yep.
can just continue to be of contribution to people, and that it never goes out. It's like a candle, right?
Right.
The light of a candle, you can share it with other candles and light 1,000 candles, and the original candle will never go out.
Doesn't cost the first candle anything.
Doesn't cost the first candle anything,
Right.
right? And I think that we can create a world like that.
I think we're
I'm
coming into that. I really do.
Truly optimistic about what we're going into with peace around the world. I think that people want to. They might not have solutions, but they want to.
It's in our DNA, in the great documentary I Am, that it's in our DNA to cooperate.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason that we as humans don't cooperate around the world is ignorance and misinformation and manipulation.
Right. Exactly.
That's why,
100% true.
Wars and death and everything
Right.
horrible is not because the human on the other side of the planet doesn't have the same DNA that I do, which drives us to cooperate,
Right.
work together.
Right. So somebody is inserting, you know, scarcity, obstinance, fear,
First and foremost, fear.
you know, just some type of negative entity into the mix, which causes people to separate. And we're not different. We're our consciousness, we're all connected, we're all related, we're all like of each other, we're all reflections of each other. I guess that's where that shadow
Yeah.
is shadow work is kind of that, right? It's a reflection. What I see in you is a reflection of what I see in me. We can see that, you know, people project out what's ever going on internally for them. That's why you can't take things personally when somebody's saying something. A lot of times we take it personally.
Yep.
4 agreements.
Easy to do. 4 agreements.
Right. So that's where we're, you know, we don't know what somebody else is going through or dealing with, and we come into it with our own perspective. So, yeah, I think that maybe more of that would be good.
More of what?
More empathy or compassion. More compassion.
Yeah.
Some compassion's good, more compassion's better. I think that you can't have too much compassion.
That's a hard one to argue.
Right.
Like, well, he was just too compassionate, and it really bit him in the ass in the end.
Yeah, well, I mean,
how could that be?
Really, but I mean, there's just, I think the more goodness in yourself that you can project out into the world, the more goodness you're going to elicit back.
Yep.
It's only when you're nasty to somebody they're going to respond nasty back. It takes something for somebody to take a nasty person and not be nasty back. That's the skill. That's the strength.
That's the
you know,
real
and then you
skill.
say
Yep.
that's the sign of weakness. That's really not. That's like super hard to do and takes some serious strength to be able to be compassionate back to somebody who's not being mean. But if you
I
could
say
see
that's
that,
a sign of weakness. Is that what you said?
no,
What's a sign of weakness?
people say that's a sign of weakness when you're compassionate back. Don't mistake my kindness for weakness.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
So
That's
you know,
super strength.
that's a superpower.
Yep.
Right. And I admire people that can actually do that.
Turn that.
I have not actually mastered that skill
Yeah.
yet, but I think that it's a very admirable skill
Yep.
to be able to do that.
And I'm sure it takes a long time to develop because the ego's screaming.
Right. And
Yeah.
I think that's where certainty comes in. When you are so certain in your own mind about what's going on in the world and about yourself and what your role is in the world, that is where you can just look at Jerry, right?
Yeah.
He's a perfect example of that. Is there's such certainty in his
Yeah.
role in
Yep.
the world that nobody can knock him off it.
Right.
And how do you come to that? How do you get that so that you can be loving and kind no matter what somebody's saying to you,
Right.
right? That's really where we need to start with our education system, is teaching children
Right. Those kind of skills.
those kind of skills, soft skills. Forget the reading, writing, and arithmetic. That'll come.
That'll come.
But, we teach too many stupid things in schools that don't mean anything.
No argument there. That is the worthwhile endeavor, and we have discovered the one thing that some is good and more is better. And we'll leave it at that.
Compassion.
Compassion.
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome. More on that later, I think. But for now, good talk.
Good talk.
See ya.